Hi guys, it's me ChazzaHD and welcome to another car reveal this weekend. Today it is the all new MCL34 from McLaren, and we are today going to analyse all the important aerodynamic pieces, the new livery, and just overall look at this new McLaren car. And I cannot wait to get into this. And I also have, as you'll see by the title, another reveal of sorts to look at, and also something to do with Toro Rosso, which we will get into later on. But first, we are going to get into McLaren. By the way, hopefully you're all doing well wherever you're watching from in the world. Hopefully you're doing well on where I am, a Thursday afternoon. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this. Now, I just need to say, unfortunately, at the moment, Nib is not able to join us, but that's because my Discord app that I use to have him on the streams isn't working right now. So I will try to load it during the stream to try and get him on. But honestly, I can't guarantee that he will actually be able to join the stream. So don't expect him to be on at a later point. I will try to get him on, but I really cannot guarantee anything. My computer is a bit slow and isn't working at absolutely 100% today. So I'll try to, but I can't guarantee anything. And there you go. But now, let's get into this new 2019 McLaren car. And first, look at the front wing. Now, they have gone for a different front wing to say the majority of the teams. They've gone for a very large element on the front wing at the top there, and then the rest of it looks pretty normal compared to the other car reveals we've seen so far in their front wings. For example, Mercedes, Red Bull, Renault, teams like that. But yeah, that top element is very big, and the actual end of the nose is quite weird. It doesn't look that good to me, but it is a bit of a weird end of the nose cone. We'll have to try and analyse that a bit more. But also, you can see, like we did see with Renault, Mercedes, Red Bull, and Racing Point, that the outer end of the end plate is extending and curving out from the front wing and going to the very edge of the tyre. As we've seen with those teams, as I just said, they're doing that to try and push the airflow around the tyre, so there's no surprise as to why they're doing that. But yeah, the front wing, it's not same old, like we have seen so far, but it's not massively different. There are slight differences, but it is not massively different. And now I'll go on to this picture. Now, the barge board area is very, very interesting, in my opinion, because it almost seems as though from this picture that they're kind of hiding that area of the car. You can kind of see a couple parts of the barge board. This picture doesn't really give the best illustration of that area of the car, but you can kind of see some of the parts there. But it is a very interesting part of the car. We'll have to try and analyse that a bit more. But I just want to go back to this picture to look at the side pods, because as you can see there, they are very small and are Ferrari-like. And you can see them right there. I'll try to zoom in a bit. Like this. So you can get a better idea of what they look like. There you go. It does look to me like the Ferrari side pods. No real surprise. All the teams are expected to go with that concept. So there is no surprise as to why they have actually gone with that concept. But as I look from this picture, if you look towards the rear of the car, more specifically the rear wing, there are some cuts in the end plates of the rear wing. You can kind of see them. Let me try and zoom in on that a bit. If I do this. Let me try and get it better there. So you can kind of see there is a couple small little cuts in the rear wing, and you can also kind of see the difference in rear wing compared to last year. This year, remember guys, the rear wings have to be wider, slightly wider, and slightly higher. And you can, with the width, you can kind of tell that they have made that, you know, regulation change possible. You can kind of see it. It's not as easy to tell, for example, as the front wing, but you can kind of tell on the rear wing. But also, now that we're zoomed in to this part of the car, you can also see the rear packaging of the car, very similar to Red Bull. Now, McLaren, I guess in the last couple of years, have been trying to kind of emulate Red Bull in terms of how tight they package the car around the power unit, especially at the rear end of the car, and with certain aerodynamic parts of the car. They tend to do Red Bull kind of things, and at the the rear of the car, you can really see how tight it is around there, and it is beautiful to see. It really is beautiful to see how nicely packaged everything is at that part of the car. And the floor there, I believe, does have a couple of small cuts. I can't quite see it from this picture. Again, this picture doesn't best illustrate certain areas of the car, but you can kind of see that there. But if I just try and come back out once more, because I want to really look at the livery as well on this McLaren. So if I go back to this shot, you can see the livery a lot better. Now, I think this livery looks better than the livery from last year. Not massively. It's still close between the two, but I think this looks better than the 2018 McLaren livery. I like the additions of blue on this orange McLaren car. It is used in the right areas. I do like that the rear wing is blue and the front wing is mostly blue. They should have really gone for an all blue front wing. I think that would have looked better. But yeah, with this livery, it looks good. But I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of this orange livery that McLaren decided to go with from 2017 on. Even though it is their historic colour, I don't think that necessarily means that they have to use it. And also, I don't think it actually looks, you know, amazing. So, yeah, if I was the boss of McLaren or the boss of the people, you know, painting the car, I would not go for orange, but that's just my personal preference. But with that colour combined with the blue, this isn't a bad looking livery. And I would say, compared to the Racing Point car we saw yesterday, by the way, if you didn't check out yesterday's car reveals, there were 3 yesterday. The videos to those are in the description down below. This McLaren, for me, does look better than the Racing Point. And in my opinion, out of the liveries we have seen so far, this is the second best livery that I've seen so far. In my opinion, I know you guys will say the Red Bull. I wasn't a fan of the Red Bull livery. I know it's only a one-off livery, but I wasn't that big of a fan of it. And yeah, I just think this is better than that Red Bull livery. And for me, again, the second best livery so far on the grid. But guys, right now in the chat and the comment section down below, let me know what you think of the all-new 2019 McLaren MCL34 car in terms of certain aerodynamics on the car and also the livery. And don't forget to give me a rating out of 10 as to how good you think this livery is and the overall look of the car. Do that right now in the chat and also the comment section, and I'll try to read through as many as I can. But just to let you guys know that if you do want to catch the Ferrari car reveal as soon as possible, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, as tomorrow we will be going live straight after the Ferrari car reveal, which is at 9:45 AM UK time, so we'll be live. I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes after that. So don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. You can either do it on the bottom right of the screen, click subscribe right there, or click on my channel name, go to the channel page and subscribe for more content like this, and also hit the notifications bell. But now, I'll quickly just switch to this image. This is from the actual launch event at the McLaren Technology Centre. And I believe I have another picture that shows the McLaren better closer up. There you go. Really shows the colouring of this car better. But there you go. That is your new McLaren. Let's see what you guys have to say. Right, let me take a look at some comments here. So, Count B Blast says the Red Bull was trash. I wouldn't say trash, but I personally didn't like it. But anyway, right, let's read out some comments, or some ratings rather, about this livery. So B Barrier says 8 out of 10, but he was expecting a 3 out of 10. Nib says 8 out of 10. Nice to see him in the chat. Again, guys, I will try to pull him in if I can. But I can't really promise anything, because even when I'm scrolling through the chat right now, my computer is not doing that well right now. So I can't promise anything. Neil says it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Okay. Ultraman Nexus says 10 out of 10. Tac3 Eve says 9.5 out of 10. Riri says 8.5. I'm just seeing that. He's gone for an 8.5. Trying to scroll down, but it just won't let me scroll down in the chat for some reason. Right, there you go. James Eric says absolutely love it, 10 out of 10. Kamikaze 007, that's a good name, 9 out of 10. Fire Mario Flower 8.2 out of 10. Okay, Crystal Racing 8 out of 10. J Crail 7.5 out of 10. Anton M says 5 out of 10. I am a bit disappointed. Irvin says 8 out of 10. Mohammed says 9 out of 10. Out of 10 for me, what would I give it out of 10? I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, 7.5 I think. I don't think it is quite worthy of an 8. But 7.5 seems for me just about right. Aditya says 9.2. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Right, let me find some more ratings if I can. Unseen Live says Williams is no longer the worst livery. I don't see how you could possibly think that this livery is worse than the Williams, but of course that's your opinion. But in my opinion, this is miles better than the toothpaste Williams that we that we saw on Monday. So yeah, this is a lot better, in my opinion. Williams livery is not bad at all, says Fire Mario Flower. I don't like it. I gave it a very generous 3 out of 10 on Monday, and Nib gave it a 0. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. John Huebner says 6 out of 10. And Nib just commenting there, do like the mounted boomerang wing to the floor, and with the floor pushing very far forward. There you go. To illustrate what Nib's talking about, I'll try to zoom in a bit to the floor. Let me just do that, and then there you go. You can see the floor a bit more there. You can take a look. Tac3 Eve says for Williams 3.5. Right, let me find a few more comments when it comes to the McLaren. When it comes to also the aerodynamic pieces of the car as well, guys. If you do notice something on the McLaren car, or you want me to show a different picture from a different angle, put in the chat and I'll try to switch to a different angle so you can see a certain area of the car. B Barrier says it has a lot of rake. Yeah, I'm noticing that. Does it have an S duct? I don't think it does. If I go back a couple, no, I don't. No, it doesn't have an S duct. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an S duct. No, it doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. But yeah, there you go. Jay Crail says they are true to the orange theme. This is why I liked it this way. Kamikaze says Red Bull nose lookalike. I don't think it does, to be honest. I don't think it does. There are differences. I think most of it looks the same, but there are some differences when it comes to the top element of the front wing, and also the end nose cone is slightly different, I think, compared to the Red Bull. Right, let me read out some more comments that we have. Mohammed says, look at the race overalls. I just think they are cool. I have seen the race overalls, and in my opinion, they look absolutely terrible. And for me, they are the worst McLaren racing overalls I have ever seen. They are terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't know who thought that was a good race suit. I don't know who, but in my opinion, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And also, why would your race suit be mostly blue when your car is mostly orange? I don't get that. Why wouldn't you go for a similar look to the, the livery of the car? I don't get that, but that's what they've gone for. Crystal Racing says and agrees, the race suits are awful, look like a BTCC team kit. Yeah, they are. They're awful. The new race suits are awful. I'll try to find a picture if I can, but I can't promise I'll be able to get one up. Nib says barge board slightly more complicated than last year, has a lot more little cuts, which is nice to see. To me, and I'll just show it here, they look actually quite different from what we've seen from the other cars so far. So very interesting on that area. Hopefully this McLaren is actually good, but I don't really have any hope, if I'll be honest, guys, because we know when it comes to a new season that McLaren hype themselves up and then completely fail and fall on their face. Eric says, yes, I agree. Race suit and livery not really good looking at all. I do like the livery, but the race suits are terrible. They are absolutely terrible. And I would make new ones, honestly. If I was, say, appointed boss of McLaren right now, I would have new ones made, because those are terrible. Absolutely terrible. The colour blue, for a McLaren car, you can have it on your car. Obviously, it's up to you. But when it comes to the race suits, if you're going to have a mostly or predominant colour on the race suit, it can't be blue, because blue is not a historic colour in McLaren's history. The historic colours are red, white, black, silver, orange. So I don't understand why their race suits are, mostly blue. I don't get that. I really don't get that. Right. Let me read out a few more comments, and then, guys, we will go on to a couple more very interesting things. Very interesting things. Addiction says, look slow, this car. Oh, let's hope. Let's hope they are not slow. I want them to actually make progress for once. The barrier says blue makes a nice contrast with the orange. On the car it does, but the race suits, they should have gone for something very similar to the livery, but they haven't. They've gone for something completely different. Right, I'll read out a couple more comments and then we will move on. McClaw Larson, great to see him here. A long time sub of the channel and my old channel as well. He says, I heard McLaren lost a sponsor late. Is that why they have a huge blank spot on the car? Yeah, I think they did. Was it Shandon? I don't know if they're still partnered with them, but that might be why. We'll have to see though. But McLaren have signed up with British American Tobacco in a new partnership / sponsorship. So maybe that's why there is no sponsor on the side there, because they can't show it, because you can't advertise cigarettes, you know, in the UK. So there you go. Right. And also Neil says no Coca-Cola. Absolutely. Ivo says, I believe it's the same design, only that the blue is darker, and it does not have a Y-wing. Right, I want to find one good final comment to end this McLaren part on, and then we'll go on. Right, trying to find one more good comment. Oh, come on, I'm trying to find. There's so many good comments. I'm trying to find one that's a great one to end on. Let me find one. Jay Crail. I'll end on this one. A mix of blue and orange, maybe, but all blue. Really? Yeah. Yeah. That's how bad the race suits are. But I think now we will move on to actually, I just forgot this. I just want to do, just to show you guys again, I know I've done this plenty of times this week, but we still have to do it to really illustrate the comparisons and illustrate the new regulations. We need to do some comparisons to last year's McLaren to show the differences, to show you that it is actually a new car. So there you go. There's the front of the car. Let me just zoom out a bit with this picture. Like that. There you go. So look at the front wing. Also, the front wing does have slightly more detail than their midfield rivals. You'd expect that. It is McLaren at the end of the day. But there you go. There is the front wing. And if you compare that to last year, you can see the differences. The gaps between each element or layer on the front wing is a lot smaller. And also on the outer parts of the wing, a lot more detail and stuff, basically, hanging off the front wing. And also, you can tell that last year's front wings were not as wide as they are this year. And you can also see that last year we didn't have those curved end plates that we do have for this year, it seems. We didn't have that last year, because they could already push the airflow in the way they wanted to. And if you compare it to now, you can see the differences. It's actually quite a lot. Front wing of 2019 to 2018 is actually quite a big difference. And I think now we are starting to see the real differences from this time last year to this year. Quite a big difference. And also, if you look at the end of the nose cone there, just look at that. Yeah, but it is different. It is different. You can see that. So yeah, you can see the differences as well on the end of the nose cone. And if you look at the side pods, they seem to be about the same, I think. I don't know. But there you go. And in terms of the color scheme, you can tell the differences between last year and this year. So last year they did have a blue rear wing, but they didn't have that much blue on the, say, the more rear part of the car on last year's car. And I believe, yeah, this year's front wing seems to be a bit more blue than last year's front wing. So there you go. There are the comparisons between the 2018 McLaren that failed so horribly and the 2019 McLaren, which hopefully does not fail so horribly. Please, McLaren, actually be good for once and make progress. That's all we want, is progress to be made. We're not asking for a lot. You're McLaren at the end of the day. You're not Haas, no disrespect, or, you know, Racing Point. You have plenty of money, plenty of history. Go out there and make progress towards the top of the field. But now I will move on to the next couple parts of the stream. Before we get into the new Alfa Romeo, I just want to look at this picture. This is the new Toro Rosso that did some filming yesterday in Spain. This isn't the Circuit de Catalunya. This is a different track in Valencia. Not the Valencia street track. There is actually a proper circuit in Valencia. This is the new Toro Rosso on track at the hands of, I believe this is Alexander Albon. And it seems as though, to me, compared to the computerized render we saw of the Toro Rosso on Monday, there seems to be a bit more development already on these front wings. And you can also just see, again, the differences in front wings this year compared to last year. And I just want to show this picture to show you guys what the new 2019 cars look like on track. And of course, the Toro Rosso car, livery-wise, is the same, but that's absolutely fine. The old livery, I guess you can call it old, even though it's been around for 3 seasons, is very good in my opinion. So there you go. But now, let's move on to the all-new 2019 Alfa Romeo Formula 1 car. Alfa Romeo, as a constructor, making their return to Formula 1 for the first time, I believe, since 1985. And here you go. So, let's first... By the way, this colour scheme, this is not the official livery of the new car. This is a Valentine's Day themed livery because, of course, today is Valentine's Day. This is not the proper livery. The proper livery is going to be revealed on Monday morning. So this is not the real livery. So just don't get ahead of yourselves when it comes to that. Because if when I zoom in, actually... you can actually see that some of the red things on this livery are actually hearts. Of course, again, because it's Valentine's Day. So there you go. But if we look at the front wing, there doesn't seem to be, from this angle, that many elements. But they also are kind of shaped in a weird way. Almost in a, I guess, a bat wing way. Kind of, at the parts of the wing where it's pointing towards the nose cone. Also, Alfa Romeo have gone for a very McLaren-esque front nose cone. You can see there, and I've also noticed this front nose. I don't know what you guys think, but the front nose on this Alfa Romeo looks a lot thinner than last year's Sauber. A lot thinner. I don't know again if I guess I should do a comparison, but I don't unfortunately have any pictures ready to show of last year's Sauber. But to me, that nose cone or the nose section looks a lot thinner. And the car looks a lot thinner than last year's Sauber. But there you go. And also, I'll quickly zoom in a bit on the rear of the car, because you can see also compared to last year's Sauber, it is a lot more tightly packaged. So you can see there, a lot tighter around the rear of the car. And I believe, I'm not sure if you can quite see that, I think there is a slight cut in the rear wing. I think there is, I'm not quite sure. The livery is kind of deceiving us there. But also you can see, if I just do this, that these red, or this livery, you can see they are quite clearly hearts, and this is only a Valentine's Day livery, one-off livery, just like the Red Bull. But, right, let me just actually zoom out on this picture, because I want to show a couple more pictures when it comes to this car. So let me just do this a minute, get it more sized up better. And yeah, you just saw the bottom picture there. I'll show that in a moment. Yeah, there you go. There is the new Alfa Romeo. This is a proper high definition picture, but then if you go to this picture, this is more of a grainy picture, and you can see some of the side of the car, but because of the sunlight, it kind of hides certain areas of the car, for example the barge boards, stuff like that. Also, one thing I've noticed is the end plates, to me, or the side wall of the front wing, looks absolutely massive compared to last year. That's one thing I did notice. And also, I've just noticed, if I zoom in a bit, or quite a lot, on the rear wing, I think you can see some cuts in the rear wing. So there you go. Again, this is a grainier picture, but you can see some cuts there in the rear wing. Let me try. I think I've got another picture here. There you go. This is a more of a front-facing shot. By the way, I think the person in the car is Kimi Raikkonen. You can see more of the front wing. Again, the pictures are a bit grainy, but this was took before there was a proper high-definition picture of the new Alfa Romeo. So you can see it there. But I think actually, I'll just show this picture as well. And I'll actually just make it a bit bigger. That's too small. Someone just saying in the chat that they like the massive Alfa Romeo logo. I do as well. It does look very, very nice. And this Sauber car, aerodynamically, does look very neat. Very neat and tidy. Some good little areas of the car. And this does look quite good. And if I try... there you go. I'll bring up this picture. The proper high definition picture of the new Alfa Romeo. It does look good. It really does look good. I cannot wait to see what the livery is going to be. Hopefully it is something good. Maybe it'll be the same as last year. Who knows? If it is the same, I don't think we can really complain, because I think last year's livery for the Sauber was pretty good. And spot on. So I don't think we can complain too much. Right. I'm just actually on Twitter, guys, because Nib, who is in the chat, has just sent me a couple pictures, more pictures to do with this Alfa Romeo that he wants, or thinks that I should put up on the screen. So let me just put this on the screen right now, if I can get it up. So just hold on a minute. And I'll get this up. There you go. Nib, I believe this is a screenshot from Nib's iPad. So here you can see more detail of the front wing, and well, that's a bit radical. Look how thin the front wing is. That's very thin. There's nothing after that. there's nothing in between the end plate and the front, and where the actual element of the front wing is. Wow, that is interesting. And again, you can also see how big the end plates are. And you can see as well this new end nose cone, very similar to the McLaren that we have just seen. And I'll also throw this picture on the screen because I think this shows the side pod / barge board area of the car a bit better. So let me get this on the screen if I can. But yeah, let me know right now in the chat, guys. What do you think of that front wing for the Alfa Romeo? And I'll try to read out your comments regarding that. And here is the other picture of the Alfa Romeo. And you can see the barge board area looks very developed. Very developed. Let me zoom in. Gotta zoom in on cars like this. And also look how big that Alfa Romeo logo is. But yeah, look at the barge board. Very, very developed. Very developed on that area of the car. You can also see the side of the end plate. But yeah, that is very, very developed. And if you guys didn't hear, there was a news story a couple weeks ago that came out that Simone Resta, who designed the 2018 Ferrari, who went to Alfa Romeo Sauber during 2018, apparently there is a lot of very I don't know how to pronounce this word sometimes, innovative aerodynamic parts on this car. And you can see there's a lot of interesting pieces on the car. Very interesting. So I'll leave a picture of that up for the moment. But guys, let me know right now, what do you think of the aerodynamic pieces on the new Alfa Romeo for 2019? And also, what do you think of this livery, even though it's a one-off livery? Rate it out of 10. For me, it is a 6.5 out of 10. I'm not going to go for a 7 because I went with a 7 for the Toro Rosso, and I don't think this is as good as the Toro Rosso, but it is good. This Alfa Romeo livery that is only a one-off. But yeah, there you go. But let me know again in the chat right now, guys. What do you think again of the aerodynamic pieces and the new livery? But guys, just to let you know that tomorrow we will be live right after the Ferrari car reveal, which is at 9:45 AM UK time. So we'll be live around 10 AM UK time. So don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Bottom right of the screen, you can do it right there. Click subscribe or click on my channel name, go to my channel page and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, there you go. And now I will try to read as many pictures as I can. Read as many pictures. Read as many comments as I can. Right. So Neil says, livery is 3 out of 10. Car is 10 out of 10. Crystal Racing says, I hope they have a backup front wing if this one doesn't work. Yeah, I hope they do as well. And let me just go back to it. There you can see that looks very different to anything we've seen with the front wings compared to the other cars. Very different. And I'm sure other teams will take a big interest in this Alfa Romeo. And I actually have a theory, guys, when it comes to this Alfa Romeo. Because of their partnership with Ferrari, I think what they're going to do is they're going to try very radical new design ideas on the Alfa Romeo, and then if they do work, they'll be going to the Ferrari immediately. That's why I think Simone Resta is trying out these radical ideas, because if they do work, they're going to go on the Ferrari car, because there is a technical partnership for sure going on between Ferrari and Alfa Romeo. So that's why I think they are going for more radical ideas so that Ferrari can use them if these things actually do work. So we'll see what happens on that front. But yeah, I think that's what is going on between those two teams. Formula One fan says the Alpha looks weird. I can't see it working, but I agree it is a test bed for Ferrari. And Neil says 100% you are right, like Red Bull Toro Rosso. That's what it's going to be. They're basically Alfa Romeo going to be testing new parts for the Ferrari car in a similar way to what Toro Rosso do. And also remember, guys, Kimi Raikkonen has drove for Ferrari for so many years, just left the team. This, by the way, this test was at the Ferrari test track. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And Antonio Giovinazzi is a Ferrari academy driver. So they're basically a Ferrari. Well, they are. They're a Ferrari B team, even though they are, I guess, technically a works team. They are a Ferrari B team. So they are going to be testing out new parts for the new Ferrari car. And I wouldn't be surprised if, say, the drivers that have done the small testing today, I wouldn't be surprised if you know, say Kimi has said, you know, certain areas of the car feel good, or this looks or feels good. I wouldn't be surprised if Ferrari tried to fast track that going into pre-season testing. So there you go. Right. Let's take a look at some comments. Unseen Live 1, is Haas a Ferrari C team? Yeah, they're now a C team to Ferrari. Ultraman Nexus asks, what about Mercedes B team? There isn't one. They had the opportunity to do that with Manor, but they didn't take that opportunity. They really should have. They really, really should have. Irvin says, the car looks the business. Livery is not my cup of tea. I think it's actually quite good, but it isn't as good as other ones I've seen so far. I don't think it is as good as the Renault, Toro Rosso, McLaren or Mercedes. But I will say I do think it is better than the Red Bull. I do think it is. That might be controversial to say, but I don't really care. Fire Mario Flower. Alpha won't be anywhere near Haas. How can they be a C team? They're their own team that buys Ferrari parts. That's it. They are private too, you know. Well, at the end of last season, Alpha / Sauber were faster than Haas in the last 3 or 4 races and developed better during 2018 than Haas. So they're basically there with Haas at the moment. Right. Let me read out some more. Or let me actually read out some ratings of this livery. So Unseen Live 8.5, Hallam 899 6.9 out of 10, Irvin 5 out of 10. Thank God it's not the final livery. That's what he said. Pack 3 Eve 6 out of 10. Annette 6 out of 10. Seirugara 6.5. Nib says 8 out of 10, and the aero / car 10 out of 10. I will say, for aerodynamic pieces, I think this car is probably right there with the Mercedes for the best looking when it comes to the aero on this new car. It really does look good, and I cannot wait to see what this is going to look like on track. I'm really interested to see, because this is the thing. If these new innovative parts of the car work, maybe Alfa Romeo will have an advantage for the first 4 or 5 races of 2019. You don't know. And also look at the rear wing there. You can see the cuts in the rear wing and very tightly packaged around the rear. They are going to be maybe not a force in 2019, we'll have to see, but they are going to be very interesting to watch out for, no doubt about it, especially with the Iceman Kimi Raikkonen at the wheel. Nib says, so aggressive and mean. Yeah, I do agree, mate. SVE, is there no shark fin? Actually, I don't think there is really. It looks more like a curve than A shark fin. I think maybe there is, but it's very small, the actual point of the fin. But I don't think there really is. If there is, then it's very small. Not as defined as it is on other cars. They're more of an older school looking car. Right, let me find some more comments about this. Crystal Racing says Red Bull 2015 had the best livery. Yeah, that was a very good one. He also says the Haas buy parts from Ferrari and have their bodywork aero developed by Dallara. Exactly, so they're not really that independent at all. It's all they have to do really is make those parts, when they're all put on the car at once, actually work. They don't really have to actually design it and, you know, make it and stuff like that. Their job is made a lot easier by Ferrari and Dallara. Hello to Mr. Galactic Skull. Great to see you here. Ultraman Nexus, will Maserati take over Haas? I don't think they will. I don't think Maserati are actually that interested. Crystal Racing, shark fins have been banned since last year. The smaller fin that's been allowed since last year doesn't do for directing airflow to the rear wing. Yeah, that is true. Shark fins were banned at the end of 2017, but they still got around that by just continuing the bodywork down to the rear of the car, but they still kind of had that fin there. But instead of it being nothing after that, they continued it in a downward way. And it was a lot more refined, I guess. Nib says shark fins have been allowed. They just couldn't be as high. Right, let me look at some more comments here. Annette, Ferrari and Alfa are owned by the same parent company. Yes, they are. And Unseen Live clarifies it is Fiat who own both of those. And that's why in my This Week in F1 that I did a couple weeks ago, that's why I didn't say that they are really a works team, because they are owned by someone else, and also Fiat is always going to prefer Ferrari over Alfa Romeo. There is not even a debate to be had when it comes to that. Not even a debate to be had. Someone asking about T-Wings. T-Wings are banned, and good, because they were dangerous and they didn't look good on the cars, in my opinion. Jago Design says, look at that rake. Timmy, Alpha livery isn't interesting, but it's not as bad as the Williams. It's okay. Right. I'm going to try, if I can, to find a few more comments before I come to the end of the stream. Crystal Racing says Ferrari have 4 simulator drivers. Hartley, that's another thing I haven't announced, that Brendan Hartley, guys, is a Ferrari simulator driver for 2019 alongside Antonio Fuoco, Pascal Wehrlein, and Rigon, but I don't know what his first name is, but I know Hartley, Fuoco, and Wehrlein are in that role. Right. Let me find a few more comments here. Ultraman Nexus, you sure T-Wings are banned because last year Ferrari's still using it though? What they were doing was they were getting around it by using I think a more not as obvious T-Wing on the car at the very bottom of the rear of the car on the bodywork. So for example, instead of it being at the top of the shark fin, it would be more towards this rear part of the car, where just before the rear wing is. So it doesn't really count as a T-wing, because if the technical people in F1 had their way, they would put it up by the shark fin. But yeah, that's the compromise that happened. And yet Davian saying there's still T-wings. They're attached to the rear wing assembly. Absolutely. You just can't really notice them as much as you could in 2017. Annette says, I'm now looking forward to seeing the Ferrari car even more. I wonder how similar they are going to be. I'm hoping we see something very special from Ferrari, because after what Mercedes showed us, I think we are due something very interesting and very cool looking. I really hope they can show us something. Yeah, hopefully they do that. J. Crail, I knew Ferrari will be the ones to reveal last. Annette, Mercedes has T-wings. Yep, they do. Crystal Racing, my bad. Yep, the T-wings are put closer to the rear wing. Yep, and again, they're just not as noticeable as they were in 2017. Right, what I'm going to do is go through a few more comments, and then I think I will come to the end here. Right, I'm trying to find the best comments I can. There's some great comments in here, so thank you guys for posting them. Andy Huckle, double roll hoop intakes. He says about the Alpha, I believe. Right, let me try and find some more good comments. Brake duct has elements within it too. Let me try and, if I can, go back to this. So you can yeah, you can see that. You can. You're right. So I'll let that sit there so you guys can look at that. Like a toy truck, those front wings look so vulnerable. Yep, they do. They do a bit. Nib says, right, so we are having a lot more discussion about this tomorrow with Ferrari launch about the front wing. Yeah, we will. Hopefully my Discord actually works tomorrow. Sorry, by the way, that Nib can't be on. Basically, my Discord app isn't working and I can't actually open it to allow him to join a voice chat for him to actually be on the streams. That is unfortunate, but there's nothing I can do. My computer is playing up a bit. So I'll try to have him on tomorrow and we will go over the Alpha and the McLaren once again. But let me just do it like that. Again, show there the front wing. Very different front wing. Can't wait to see more detail once we get to pre-season testing. And then there you go. That is a very nice looking picture of the Alfa Romeo. It does look very good aerodynamically. We'll have to see what it looks like once we get to pre-season testing. And there is another picture of the new car. But guys, that is it for this stream. Thank you for coming along to look at the new 2019 McLaren and also the new 2019 Alfa Romeo, and looking at briefly the Toro Rosso on track, doing some on-track testing. So thank you guys for coming along, posting your comments and being a part of the stream. And again, tomorrow, hopefully me and Nib will be live around 10 AM UK time. That's about 10 to 15 minutes after the car reveal for Ferrari. We will be live to analyse the new Ferrari car, and if Nib is around and my Discord app is working, then we'll go over the new Alfa Romeo and McLaren once again. So don't forget to subscribe, guys, for that content coming tomorrow. You can either do it on the bottom right of the screen or click on my channel name, go to my channel page and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And also hit the notifications bell, like this video, comment down below what you thought of this video, and comment down below what you think of the new Alfa Romeo, the new McLaren, and what you think of the liveries and the new aerodynamic pieces. And as well, don't forget to join our Discord server, link below in the description. That is the best place, guys, to get notifications for my videos, so don't forget to join that server. And don't forget to check out my Twitter at Chaz6110, a great place to keep up to date with me and when I'm uploading videos or going live. And check out as well my website, shazahd.com, for more content like this. But guys, until tomorrow around 10 AM UK time for the brand new 2019 Ferrari car, it's been me, ShazahD. Goodbye.